Hello everyone and welcome back to Townsfolk Tussle, part 2 of Game 2. So I'm not going to spend too long going over anything, you'll have to see part 1 for that. But it's the continued adventures of Quintus Binch, Norman Fishboy and Granny Melba, as we have 2 of the 4 ruffians left. We're in the 3rd of 4 town phases, and we are jumping straight in with drawing new feats of metal. Quintus needs 3, and I think he's also got the most achieved so far. Actually no, I think Norman does. Confident Walloper, deal 2+ damage in a single turn to a ruffian, very doable. Tinkerer, interact with a train piece, very doable. And Altruistic Do-Gooder, pay 7 coins at any time to achieve this feat. Okay, also possibly doable depending on how much money he steals with his purse cutter. Norman needs 2 new feats of metal. Sell a piece of gear, probably not gonna because he's got good gear, but let's see. And Survivor, take 2+ damage in a single turn without being knocked out. Possible. Granny Melba needs 1 more feat of metal, and hers is Careful Planning. Complete the fight without changing your equipped gear. Very doable for Granny. We have 2 in-place town events already. As far as I can tell, you don't discard them. Might be wrong about that, but either way. So Quintus has to keep the receipt, and Norman has Dying Gift. We do still draw new town events though, so starting left to right again. Impending Doom. Keep this card in front of you for the remainder of the game. Whenever you whiff, which is roll a 1, put a counter on this card. When a second counter is placed on this card, your turn ends immediately and the ruffian gets 2 turns. That's not good. Okay. Quintus Binch, Impending Doom. Shaky Hands, we're getting all the bad ones. Keep this card in front of you for the next fight. Lower your terrain rolls by 1. Okay, so don't do terrain with Norman. And then Granny, come on, get 1 good one. Oh, Treasure Hunt, okay. You see an old man digging for his family's lost treasure. You should help him out. Roll and then add your max HP. We'll start with Granny and go back that way. A 4 plus 4 is an 8. Oh, actually you only roll the 1, I think. You spend all afternoon digging to no avail. You can barely keep your eyes open. Keep this card in front of you. When you whiff, your turn ends immediately. And that's not once, that's for the entirety of the next fight. That is terrible. Alright, on to the shopping. So the first part of the shopping is that Quintus gets to steal something worth 5 or less. He's going to steal the Vanishing Cream, which lets him teleport away at the end of a turn. It's essentially the same as his starting item, but you have to disappear on the board until the start of your next turn. But it's an accessory, he has room for that. Beyond that though, Granny doesn't really have enough to make use of anything, to be honest. She could buy... How much has she got? 5, 6, 7. She could buy the Boom Boom Brew, which makes you explode on your next turn, if she's going to die anyway, so sure. She'll buy that, she doesn't have an accessory, so that'll cost her 5, so there's that done. Actually, when does her discount kick in? Has to be 7 or more. So she could technically buy something worth 7, but there's nothing worth, never mind. Then in buying order it would be Norman, and he's sitting on a ton of cash. He's got 18. And he also has Dying Gift, so when he buys something, he can get something of equal or lesser value for free. So I've planned this ahead in advance. He's going to buy the Rope Whip for 13, leaving him with 5. Like that. He's not going to use it though. He's going to be trading that thanks to us using this shared storage rule to Quintus to get rid of his old belt. Because it's a one-handed weapon. Does 2 damage, it's range 3, and if he crits he can remove action cards and from the discard pile of the ruffian. Seems pretty good. And that also means he can get hero tights for free. So Norman's going to equip these. You get +1 movement for each feat you've completed. He's completed 3, which is the maximum bonus you're allowed, so he gets +3 movement from equipping these, putting him at movement 5, 6, 7. He is very, very fast. Quintus is sitting on 10, and I think he is going to give himself some mobility as well. He's going to spend 8 of that, giving himself change of 2, for the Boot Topper, which is just a flat, it's a boot on your head for +2 movement. And with that, because he doesn't have a headgear, that puts him at movement 7 as well, and it's time to see who will be fighting. Alright, I've got the boss cards in hand. Let's see who the troublemaker is. It is going to be... Nope. It's going to be Pepin Milk Frog. Okay, where's Pepin's card? Here it is. Pepin Milk Frog. Now, I do believe the third fight is the hardest of the bunch, to be honest. He's a troublemaker, there's his picture. Milk Crate Barrage. At the start of his turn, he deals 1 damage to all townsfolk within 5. That's awful! Wow. He's only got 14 HP, but still. 14 HP, 6 move, and the map I'm going to set up after I check this text message that just interrupted me, it's going to look a little something like that. Alright, it is time to start the battle. Granny Melba is not on one of the deployment squares because she still has access to the cartographer's map, so she can start where she likes. I actually think since I'm using shared storage, any special item affects everybody. I'm not going to do that though because it does seem a little bit overpowered. That said, Pepin goes first, Pepin Milk Frog, and when he starts his turn everyone within 5 takes 1 damage, so actually could Quintus have started 5 away from him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, the only square that's not in 5 is where Norman has spawned, and Quintus has the most HP, so he'll take that hit from the Troublemaker rule, puts him at 5, and with that we can draw his first AI card. Straight out of his bog, it's Pepin Milk Frog. Skim Splatter, all townsfolk within 2 squares. Nope. The slimy milk burns on contact. Nope. Then he moves towards the farthest townsfolk, who currently is Granny Melba. Okay, he's moving 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which is perfect for him getting run over. Quintus Binch goes first, and that new rope whip I gave him has range 3, so he can move 1, and he's within range, so he'll use it, but he doesn't want to whiff. He's got a natural, no, his accuracy's normal, so no buff, it's just a 5+. He got a crit, so that does 2 damage, and immediately triggers a reaction, unfortunately. But you do the crit result first, as far as I'm aware. That's a 2 on the crit table. It's our first crit of the game. You hit the ruffian, you can see what he's going to do. It doesn't matter though because he hit a breaking point, so he's doing it anyway. Does this count as a turn? At the start of Pepin's turn. This isn't his turn, it's a breakout attack, so I'm going to assume that he doesn't get to hit everybody for 1 damage again because that seems ridiculously overpowered. Could be wrong, but this isn't a turn, it's a reaction. His turn is when it hits it in the turn order, and he goes first. So he is going to do Jug Crush, though. Closest townsfolk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, equidistant between those 2. Move towards them. If he reaches them, trigger the after effect. Okay. He'll go after Quintus, because he's right there, and that still leaves him in line of sight of the jalopy. The target must choose to either cower or brace for impact. The target covers... Oh, cowers, sorry, not covers. And the jug glances off their head. They take 1 damage and lower accuracy by 1, or they can brace if they have 3+ Moxie. Actually, I might make Norman Fishboy be the target then. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to make Norman take the hit, but that does mean Pepin's going to move like that and push Quintus. But that's okay, it's not a collision because it doesn't say it's a collision, so we'll just move him out of the way. Because he wants to land next to the closest target, and it was equidistant. So, because Norman has 3 Moxie, he's going to brace for impact. The target squares up, taking the full force of the milk jug to the face for 2 damage. That part hurts. And puts him on 2 health. The jug bounces backwards, spilling milk down Pepin's back. Pepin's weakness is now activated. Remove this card from the game. His weakness... Whenever Pepin is placed in a new location, he takes 1 damage because he's burned on his bottom by his horrible, horrible acidic milk. I'm fine with that. So that wasn't his turn, that was an interrupt from Quintus's turn, who he has to end his turn immediately. So we're on to Norman. And Norman... Can I use his fishy cap in the moat here? Wishing well. It does say murky moat. Yeah, okay, can. I'll do his once per game fish thing. Do I need to roll? Nope, as long as Pepin's within 4, he takes 2 damage. I'll do that. And then he's going to run away. He has 7 movement, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's going to come down here and arm that bear trap, I think. And then for Granny Melba's turn, she's just going to try and drive the car into Pepin. It is 1 Moxie to interact. A 6 is good enough. Move the old jalopy forwards until it collides with a terrain piece or board edge. All characters in its path take 3 damage, then remove it from the board. And she also achieves a feat for doing that, I believe, because she had the landscaper thing. Yeah, Rowdy Landscaper. She doesn't want the money, she's going to do 1 additional damage to the ruffian for doing that. So the jalopy starts up, old Dozie's jalopy, we know who owns it now, drives down here, hits Pepin, keeps going, and is destroyed. So that was, what, 3 damage for the car? So that's 4 damage in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. That does trigger another breaking point, however. So Pepin Milkfrog is going to get 2 actions in a row. Oh, sorry, wait, no, we're not quite done with the turn yet, because all she's done is she spent her 2 Moxie, so she's going to move to the wishing well and throw in her 2 pennies. It doesn't cost any Moxie to do this, it just costs pennies. And she has 2, so why not? And then we roll on the wishing well. Oh wait, she triggered a breaking point, so she's not allowed to do this. Well, she would have got nothing, for the record. So now it is his turn. So we can draw, well, first of all the breakaway card, or breakout card. Roundhouse Swing. Farthest townsfolk, that would be Granny Melba. Move towards them, all townsfolk collided with. He's not going to collide with anyone. Let's see. If any townsfolk owns a milk-soaked limb, nope. So he's going to move 6 towards Granny Melba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good because now it's his turn. That was the breakout attack. Now it's his turn, so anyone within 5 takes 1 damage. There's no one within 5. That's fantastic. This is his turn. Tongue Fling. Target the closest townsfolk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's definitely Quintus. Target the closest townsfolk. If there's only 1 townsfolk on the board, you discard this. Move towards them. If he reaches them, deal 1 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He did. Quintus, I'll have to come around here to his HP. He takes 1 damage. He's back to his base starting health of 4. Pepin grabs the target with his tongue and chucks them at another townsfolk. Place the target adjacent to the furthest townsfolk regardless of distance, then that townsfolk takes 1 damage. He got flung into Granny, all the way over here, where she thought she was safe, and she just took 1 damage. But not so bad, considering he's down to 6 health. We're actually doing this really quickly. Alright, give me a second to think through my turn then. Okay, I've had a little think, and I'm going to change my plans. Quintus has to go first, and he's too far away. 7 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's not going to get in range. He needs to be within range 3. And he has only 2 Moxie. So he can't do a change places because that takes 2, and then move and attack. He can do a trickster and then position himself to try and lure Pepin somewhere, which might be an option. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. He's going to trade places with Norman Fishboy for his 2 Moxie, because Norman has like 4 range. And then, oh, I just realised also, because of the fake badge we got last time, when Granny achieved that feat of Mel, Norman heals for 1. Thanks to the fake badge he took off of Lawman Dozie's corpse. So then he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to stand just in screen down there. Not adjacent to the hive, but to try and force Pepin down here, because if he stops adjacent to this, he'll take damage. And then for Norman Fishboy's turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, he can't get in range. That's okay. Can he do anything else though? Maybe it'd be better for him to stay back then. He's going to not move quite as far. He's going to move to there, because then I think Pepin can't reach him if he's just doing a standard move. Granny Melba's turn. She's only got range 5 on her gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's not going to get there. She's only got 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. She'll move there. Can't do much this turn, unfortunately. Does mean when Pepin starts his turn, which is now, doesn't hurt anybody, because there's no one within 5. Shockwave Leap. Target all townsfolk. All townsfolk are pushed 1 farther away from Pepin. Any townsfolk that gets pushed into or adjacent to a terrain piece slams into it. I don't think the edge of the board counts as a terrain piece, so I think Quintus is fine. 1 away, 1 away. They're both fine as well. Then moves Pepin towards the farthest townsfolk. Is that still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ah, he's going to move towards Granny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's okay though. That's okay. So it's right back round to my turn, but it's Quintus's turn. Granny can do damage to him, so there's no need to change places with her. I guess he'll go after the bear trap, or maybe the rickety barn. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. He's not adjacent. Diagonals don't count. So he'll just have to waste his turn, unfortunately. That's okay. Norman Fishboy, he's going to attack with his pitch spork. He needs a 3+, because he doesn't have his maxed out accuracy this time. He rolled a 9. So that is 2 damage. Oh, that triggers a ruffian breakpoint. So unfortunately his turn immediately ends. Again, this doesn't count as a ruffian turn as far as I'm aware, so no damage. Farthest townsfolk, that is now Quintus. Ranged attack, if he's within 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's exactly 9. They take 1 damage, turn Pepin around and move him forwards. Turn him around and move him forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not sure why that is, but that's what the card says. After effect, the glass bottle shatters. All townsfolk within 3 of the target take 1 damage. There is no one within 3. He's fine. Now who did that? Norman Fishboy did that rather. So it's just Granny. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, he's not in range. Granny's going to have to waste a turn again, unfortunately. Yeah, she can't do anything. Oh, that means it is Pepin's turn. There is no one within 5, so no damage from Troublemaker roll. Frothy Frenzy. He grabs a slimy milk ball from his crate and chugs. Target none. Pepin is invigorated by his milk. He gains +1 movement. So he's up to 7 movement now. Reshuffle the action deck and play the next card in the action deck. Oh dear. Okay, well, we don't include the one that it told me to discard from the game entirely, the crushed, the one that activated his weakness. It hasn't been placed yet either, so the weakness has done nothing for us. But either way, okay, I've shuffled the action deck. We have to play the next card, it said. Tongue Fling, we've seen this. Closest townsfolk, that's Granny Melba. Move towards them. If he reaches them, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even without the new boost he has. So she's down to 2 from just the damage. Grabs them with his tongue and chucks them towards... has to be the furthest. So Granny gets chucked into Quintus. And Quintus annoyingly takes 1 more damage, which means I have to come around this side of the camera again. He's got 2 health left. He's getting pretty beat up. And that's it. So, it is Quintus's turn. Let's see here. You can move through teammates as long as you don't stop on them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This doesn't block line of sight. He has range 3 on his rope whip. He's going to attack across the water. Is a 5 good enough? Normally a 5 is good enough. Yes, because he's neutral on his accuracy. So that's 2 damage. Pepin Milkfrog has 2 health left, and Quintus's turn is basically done. There's no point in wasting his stuff because I think we're going to win soon. Norman Fishboy, Spork, go. He critted. 2 damage is enough to kill. I'm going to do the roll for the crit in case he gets the result that gives you the star item from his 3 items. He got a 3, which is nothing important because Pepin Milkfrog, the horrible milkman, collapses into the stream and his corpse goes down river. So the only person to achieve a feat of metal in that fight was Granny, so Granny's going to get a bit of his gear. Let me go look it out. Alright, I've looked at the cards, but I'm entirely wrong. Quintus got Confident Walloper because he was doing 2+ damage, so he's going to take 2 coins, and that means he also achieved a feat of metal during that fight. And Norman achieved Survivor. Take 2+ damage in a single turn. He got smacked for 2 at one point. I don't remember quite what smacked him, but something did, I think. Because didn't he have... Oh, maybe I'm wrong about that one actually, because he seems to only be missing 1 health, and I don't remember him healing. No, actually I don't think he did do that one. I think I'm wrong about that one. But that does mean that Quintus and Granny need to roll off, so highest number will get the gear. That was Quintus's roll for a 5, Granny rolled a 2. Quintus deserves it more, to be honest. Granny's kind of lagging behind everyone. So Quintus will take this, whatever this is. The Milkman's Hat. +1 Moxie, +1 max HP. Well, that's going into storage. Actually, you know what? Because we're at the end phase and about to start town phase, we'll just do it now. Granny's going to equip that instead of that bandana that does nothing for her. So she's going to get +1 max HP and +1 moxie from this anyway. She isn't the one who earned it, but Quintus is good to his grandmother, if nothing else. So she is getting that for +1 moxie to give her 3, and +1 max HP, giving her 5 in total. With that, they all get 6 pennies, and we go back to town for the final town phase. So we're at the start of our final town phase of the game. However, Careful Planner did score for Granny at the end of that battle there, because she didn't change her gear once. So she actually has 4 more pennies than she should have there. So she has 10 in total. We'll just put 2 5s there. Let's see. Feats of metal don't matter too much for the final fight, although it can give you stat buffs that might help you, because we pick a sheriff before the fight starts. So it's too late to earn them, but we'll still draw them. Quintus needs 2 of them. Ambusher, damage to ruffian while you're standing in a terrain piece to get +1 moxie. That could be useful in the fight, depending on who we get. A doctor, he ain't going to score that, but whatever. Norman doesn't need any more. Granny needs 2 more. Blood Shedder. If you attack on each of your turns this fight, very difficult to achieve. I'm probably not going to. The Fall Guy, an action played from hitting breaking point deals damage to you. That could definitely happen. She does good damage when she can fire her gun and lands the hit. Town events, final turn events. Town events rather. Quintus. Bribed Betrayal. You come across a gaggle of ruffians looting the town pharmacy. Hey pal, one of them says, how about you look the other way? We'll share some of our haul. If you accept the bribe, you get some money for, and the next ruffian gets +2 movement. Decline the bribe. No, which doesn't have any ill effect, it's just you chase the ruffian away. Good. Town event for Norman Fishboy. Experienced Looter. You dig through a giant pile of townsfolk's limbs in search of some loot, but find 1 measly coin. Gain 1 coin and keep this card in front of you. The next time you would receive a piece of ruffian gear at random, you may choose to... Not going to happen because we're at the final fight, so I'll just discard it. That's a shame. He does gain 1 penny though, that might be important. So let's do that. He's up to 12. And then town event for Granny. All you can eat. Georgie Irongut not in the group. Ah, okay, so if you have him in the group, he does something. You all enjoy a hearty meal free of charge. Choose 2 townsfolk for the next fight. They have +1 max HP. I'll do Norman and Quintus because I think they are the 2 that can get this done. So we're at the final buy and sell phase, so it only really matters if there's anything here at all that could be useful to anyone. Everyone's got consumables. Norman Fishboy needs a chest gear. Quintus is filled up. There's no chest gear for sale. Granny could use either leg gear or chest gear. Again, there's no chest gear. There is leg gear, but it costs 12 and she's only got 10. So what we can say then is that Quintus chooses to sell the thief bandana, and he has that town event he never used, keep the receipt, so he gets the full value. Again, not that she really needs it. I don't know if you're allowed, I don't think you're allowed to give money to characters, but that gives him 17 coins, so he can easily afford the trekkers for 12. He will purchase them and then put them in storage. Granny takes them out of storage. Gives her +1 movement. Whenever the ruffian action deck is reshuffled, she gains +1 movement and moxie for the fight. Potentially really good. And it puts her base movement up to 5, which is pretty decent. I don't think there's anything else in the shop worth thinking about. Oh, hang on. The hand cannon maybe? Norman Fishboy's only got 12. Can he sell something? He could sell the old belt, which would be half value. So you'd only get 2 for that. And then we just roll it back round to his turn again. And he'll spend all his money to buy the hand cannon, which is essentially the same as Granny's current gun. It does cost 3 moxie, but she has 3 moxie. The accuracy is 1 better, the damage is 1 better, the range is only range 3, and it also can only be used once per turn, same as her current gun. But that's good damage, so she's going to swap her gun out for that. The Rooty Tooty shooter goes into storage, and the hand cannon gets given to the old far-sighted lady. Alright, let's see who we're doing the big finale against. So as part of the final fight, we do also have to pick a sheriff. I've added up the points of achieved feats, and Granny and Quintus are actually at a draw with 4. Norman has 3. I'm going to pick Quintus because of his massive HP buffs. He's got the best chance of surviving, because if the sheriff dies you insta lose. So I'm picking him as the new sheriff, even though it might not be the best judgment considering his nature, but hey, let's see who the big finale's against. Final fight is Queen and Quen, King and Queen reversed. Okay, I know what they are because we played against them in an online match. Not their finale, just in general I think. They love stealing gear, which is bad. Good that we have a lot of gear to be stolen, because it avoids lots of extra damage, but still an absolute pain because that's going to steal stats. They have 14 health, which isn't terrible, and 6 movement. And then their final fight mission we're doing is death, taxes and death. Actually, we did do their final mission, I remember this now. So, you have to appoint a sheriff, and they will be given the sheriff's glue, which they can equip immediately if they choose to. And then they have grand taxing. Whenever an action causes a piece of gear to be unequipped, that gear is discarded instead, meaning you can't spend 2 moxie to re-equip it. It's gone forever, which is really, really bad. Then if the coin value of any piece of gear discarded was 7 or more, they restore 1 HP and take another action, which is really, really bad. Defeat them to win the game. If we'd had the Blopsy twins, which is the only other playable character I haven't used yet, in this fight, there's a special ending if you kill them with them, but we don't have them, so it's just a case of kill them without the sheriff dying, and we'll see an ending, and if we die, we'll see another ending. I'm going to get that map set up. There's no special terrain for it being a final fight. We just have to gun them down before we lose all of our clothing, essentially. So this is it, the final fight. The sheriff's glue is that you put it behind a bit of gear on the sheriff, and they can't lose it the first time they would lose it. I think that's basically all it does. It may be moved to other slots during your turn, and it costs 0. But Quintus is going to put this at his rope whip, so you can't lose that the first time anyway. And with that, King and Queen right there. We will start with their first card. Their greed is obscene. It's Queen and Queen. Queen, however you pronounce it. Mantle Mayhem. Target the 2 closest townsfolk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's Granny and Quintus. They throw their giant cloak over the target, so when it's removed, the townsfolk find themselves attached at the hip. Reduce each target's movement by 1 and place them adjacent to one another. So Granny's down to 4, Quintus is down to 6. Did I get to pick who's adjacent to who? Because if so, I'm going to move Quintus over here because it's more beneficial to me. So he's made them conjoined. Keep this card in front of the townsfolk. For the remainder of the fight, whenever one of them moves, they both move unless knocked out. Neither townsfolk can be removed from the board. Oh, sorry, they can't be removed from the board unless they're knocked out. And then it also says you play the next card, unfortunately. Royal Dispute. All townsfolk within 2. Nope. All targets take 1 down. Oh, it's because King and Queen are fighting each other. Move them towards the farthest townsfolk. That is Norman Fishboy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After effect, your gears come loose. No, that only happens if you've been hit, so that is good. Now we start with my turn, with Quintus going first. I just realised I've hit his icon on the turn order. So whenever he moves, whenever he's finished moving, Granny gets placed in an adjacent square next to him, and vice versa. He doesn't really need to move that far, he's got range 3. So he'll just move there, and Granny can move behind him, and he'll use the rope whip. An 8 is good enough, it hits for 2. And unfortunately, immediately triggers a breakout attack. So, Gem slapped all townsfolk within 3. That's Quintus and Norman. Deal 1 damage and then move towards the farthest. So down to 4, down to 6 because Quintus's health is so massive. Move towards the farthest. So that would be whoop, turn around right there. The targets are flustered by the barrage of blows. All targets have their accessories unequipped. So Vanishing Cream is gone forever because it gets discarded. And the fake badge, which I've been forgetting about anyway. It's discarded. I'll just put that on the... Actually no, I'll have to tidy it away properly. I'll do that later. So that was Quintus's turn getting interrupted. So now it's Norman Fishboy. He'll immediately attack with his pitch spork. It rolled off camera. It was a 3, but thanks to his accuracy bonus of 2, that's good enough. It hits for 2 damage. But I've actually got a very, very damaging setup going. It's just they're not so great on the defenses all. Will he move? Yeah, you know what? Let's move. 1, 2. He's got what? 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does he have enough? It costs 2 to use that. To arm the bear trap costs... Oh, it's 2 moxie. He'll do it next turn. So then it's Granny's turn. Granny wants to shoot. Granny's got a gun. She's going to move back 2. Quintus is going to guard her because he's got a lot of health. Oh, that's an interesting thing. What if he uses Trickster to teleport? I guess Granny would teleport with him. That would be... Okay, that's pretty cool. Because the other side of the board has more beneficial buildings to me, so Quintus's next turn he should teleport. Anyway, Granny's going to shoot with a hand cannon. She's getting a 1, 2, 3, 4. She's getting a +2 bonus, so this is 3+. And it is a 3, so she hit for 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, that triggers another breakpoint. This is going really quick. So it's 2 turns in a row for Queen and Gwen, starting with Supreme Serenade. Closest townsfolk, that's Quintus. Move towards them, then if there are 3+ on the board, trigger the after effect. Yes. Okay. There is indeed 3+ on the board. Queen is invigorated and begins swinging wildly. Draw the next card from the action deck. All targets in that action immediately take 1 damage, then you do the action. Okie dokie. Target is none. How does that work then? All targets in that action. There's no targets. Okay, so I guess you don't. If there are 2 or less townsfolk, discard this card. Nope. They're confident they'll win, no need to rush things. They turn around, move forwards and restore 2 HP. And if there's 4 people, you would do something else afterwards, but there's not. Turn around and move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They restore 2 HP, so they're back up to 9. And we still need to play 1 more card for them. Battle Fatigue. Target the weakest townsfolk. That would be Norman Fishboy. It's weird saying he's the weakest because he's not been hit yet, but he is actually the weakest. Move towards them, and if he reaches them, deal 1 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make him stand on the bear trap because I presume I can still arm it while he's standing on it. 1 damage to Norman Fishboy. You need to take off some of this heavy gear. The target may choose to unequip a piece of gear. If they don't, King and Queen gain +2 movement. He'll take off his fish cap because it's literally irrelevant in this fight. There's no water element to... Oh, actually no, he could use the water wishing well. Ah! He's going to refuse and give them +2 movement. So they're up to 8 movement. That might be a mistake, we'll see, but it's finally back around to my turn. So it's Quintus's turn. I moved the camera a little bit so you can actually see what the action is and see what a mess of cards I now have over by their stat cards. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of. So Quintus can teleport for 2 moxie, but then he has nothing left. He could also just move, because he had 7 movement, it's down to 6. That's not enough to get him in range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Granny could be placed there. She can't fire a gun this turn. I think I'm worried if he draws a card that's like attack everyone in range. He's going to teleport. No, but to teleport he changes places. No, never mind, he'll just move. He'll move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Granny will teleport next to him. In the forest. Because why not? Because, well actually maybe not. Because moving out of the forest takes an action actually, so she'll go in front of him. He can't attack this turn. Norman Fishboy, he's got 3 moxie. He needs 2 to use his pitch spork, or he can arm the bear trap the King and Queen is standing on. He will do that. That is good enough, I believe. No, it's not. No, it's not. You need a 3+. Arg. Okay, well, he'll just move then. He'll move in front of the Doctor Tut, in case he needs to heal or resurrect someone that dies. That is a great shame. And then it's Granny Melba's turn. Which square has the trap on it again? That one up there. She does not have the movement to get to it, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4. She can get there, and then Quintus can go here, and she'll just use the dog leash, which is a 5+, down to a 7+. Oh wait, no, she's 2 squares away, so that counters the negative, so it's just a 5+. Okay, got them for 1. That's better than nothing for a turn. 1 whole damage. King Queen's turn. Jealous Poke. Townsfolk with the most owned gear. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quintus or Granny. She's going to move, or they're going to move towards and deal 1 damage. And then unequips half their gear, rounded down. She's going to go after Granny because Quintus needs his gear to murder. So Granny takes 1 damage and then loses half her gear, rounding down. So half of her gear would be 2.5, so she has to lose 2. She'll lose the brew that makes her explode because we don't need that. And she'll lose the... I'm going to be risky and lose the dog leash, and again it doesn't get unequipped because of that special rule for the final fight. It's discarded. Oh, isn't that worth more than 7? What was the thing again? Yeah, that's worth more than 7, so they restore 1 health. Was the other thing worth more than 7? Hang on. No, it wasn't. Okay, so they've restored 1 HP. Okay, fine. Background to me, in this turn I can actually do some damage, so get ready. Let's start with Quintus, and he's going to smack them. And he got them for 2. Unfortunately, that immediately triggers a breakaway attack. I'm seeing a trend with them constantly healing. It puts them back over the threshold to get like 3 attacks. Hilt Bash. Target the closest townsfolk. That's Granny. Move. Well, we don't need to move. It's just 1 damage to poor Granny, just getting punched in the face by the hilt of a sword. Leaves your wrists battered and bruised. They must unequip a weapon of their choice. If they didn't have any weapons, they take damage. So she's actually just lost both weapons now, forever. She's still got her other weapons in storage she can equip, but that's going to take up a turn, so that's great. Quintus's turn is forced to end, so it's Norman Fishboy's turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. He needs to move, so he will. There we go. Pitch Spork. Hit for 2. 5 health remaining on the ruffian. He has 1 Moxie left. Can he do anything with that? Yeah, he can search the tool shed. It only costs 1 Moxie, so why not? It's a 5. He has nothing but spiders. Can't use the tool shed anymore. Fair enough. I didn't want to use the tool shed anyway. Nothing in there but ghosts. And then Granny's turn. She's spending the 2 Moxies she has to re-equip the Rooty Tooty shooter from storage. Which is not as good as the gun she only got to fire once. It cost like 13, but whatever. And I think she's going to move. She's only got 4 movement though. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he gets forced along and he's going to hide around the corner. We need to make sure the sheriff doesn't die. Because I think we're going to win as long as the sheriff doesn't die. Alright, the passage of text is called Sliced in Twain. All the gear in the world couldn't protect Queen and Quinn from the thrashing they received. They wrapped their arms around each other trying to defend against the bloodthirsty townsfolk. The newly appointed sheriff, Quintus Binch, grabs Queen's claymore from the ground and delivers a devastating blow, cutting King and Queen straight down the middle. Hooray, the battle was over. The future looks bright for Eureka Springs. You didn't just save the town after all. By taking down King and Quinn, you saved the entire continent. Tourists flood in from all over the countryside to see the fellows who took down the conquering twins, as well as their corpses, which hang from separate gallows in the town square. Oh, lovely. The citizens of Eureka Springs have never felt safer with the new sheriff in charge. Thanks to your hard work and dedication to violence, the town is safe. Congratulations, you win the game. So that is it for our second full game of Townsfolk Tussle. There is 1 more at least remaining for us to see the final 4 ruffians that we haven't seen. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. We'll include the Blopsy twins next time and then whichever characters I like best out of the other ones. Actually, or you could let me know which characters you want me to use either way. Thank you for watching and I shall see you next time. Ta-ta for now.